Friday morning to you. Welcome. It's AM Today on Osrc television, the 13th day in the month of October 2023. Safe to say it's the Friday edition that ushers us into the weekend. My name is Sahid Aribisala. As usual, we'll get to update you on some of the developments right here in Nigeria and, of course, take a deep dive into critical issues for society development. But, of course, we'll start from the papers segment where we take a look at some of the stories making headlines in the dailies for today. And we'll begin this morning from the Blueprint newspaper to get a feel of what exactly you would find when you get a copy of the Blueprint today. And the bold one in the front page of the Blueprint is Tinubu to Supreme Court on CSU saga. Dismiss Atiku's appeal over cooked up vague allegations. Describes ex-VP's second voyage as abuse of court process. Find this rider. Obi bears different names in NYSC, UNN certificate. Apapa's LP alleges. It's a season for coming up with new findings, revelations, you say developments, particularly as the battle rages on in the courtroom, talking about the post 2023 election matters. This time around, center of attraction is the presidential election. Other headlines, still in the Blueprint newspaper, you find just below the nameplate, Tinubu names Olukoyede EFCC chairman. You find also Amajoda secretary. That's the part of the latest appointment from the president. EFCC now has a new boss. You also see this one, Ajulo Falana's wife, EFCC lawyer. 56 others elevated to son. Yes, we're quite proud right here in Ondo State that we also have, yes, one man who's also, making this list at this time. That's Kayode Ajulo, SAN. Congratulations to the new Leonard Sikh, senior member of the FG, not interested in stifling press freedom of expression. That's credited to Malagi. You also find this one, 2 Fiat killed, 4 trapped in Oshun church building collapse. Naira slumps to 145 Naira to $1 as Forex crisis worsen. Organ harvesting, court revokes Noah Kekere's bail, remands suspects. You also see troops neutralize 50 terrorists, arrest 114, Bongo oil deal. You also find that also in the Punch news, in the Blueprint newspaper for this morning. Let's move away from the Blueprint for today to check some of the dailies that are out for you. The Daily Independent is next, and the Daily Independent is leading developments in Central Bank of Nigeria. Target right now. It says CBN governor targets 1 trillion 8 years. Says bank will call mates. I guess the Apex Bank was before now not focusing on its core mandates. Maybe some would say that account issues, economic issues that we have currently in Nigeria. But good that the new CBN governor is focusing on the core mandates of the bank. Lifts Forex ban on importation of toothpick, 42 other items. Commits to boost FX liquidity at foreign exchange market. What's the implication of the lift of the ban on forex for the importation of some of these items? You want to check the Daily Independent for that particular story. We're looking at the Bank of Nigeria and some of the steps the Apex Bank is taking to reshape the economy. CSU records alien to Atiku's appeal. Dismiss it. Tinubu begs Supreme Court. You also find an update on the ongoing war. Israel-Hamas war strikes devastate Gaza as Israel prepares for possible ground assault. What's the death toll at this time? Run to over 2,000 persons who've lost their lives. Right there in that particular crisis situation in between Israel and the Palestine. Minority senators reduced to 49. Minority senators reduced to 49 as Ifeanyi Uba defects to APC. Ifeanyi Uba, the sole senator from the Young Progressives Party, that's the YPP, now defecting or has defected to the All Progressives Congress and say, look, the coast is getting larger on one side and of course it's reducing on the other side. Now the 49. NUPRC grants first petroleum exploration license. Legal Practitioners Committee confirms Ajulaw 57 others as SANS. FG assures investors of steady power supply. I think they should also assure Nigerians, not just about the investors. Though the steady power supply will definitely turn things around in terms of the economy of the country. But of course, the ordinary citizen also needs to feel, that development. The fact that they can also say, look, we have a steady power supply in our country, and small, medium-scale businesses and enterprises will also be able to thrive. Other headlines, still in the Daily Independent quickly. Extremists slaughtering, feasting on fellow humans. That's defense headquarters. As troops kill 50 terrorists, arrest 14. You also see the development, Economic Financial Crimes Commission. Guarded optimism as Olukoyede, first Southerner, emerges ECC chair after 20 years. In the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. Let's move from the Daily Independent this morning to check other dailies that are out today. Our attention next. The Vanguard is also here. The legal fireworks. Atiku cooked up allegations against me. Tinubu tells Supreme Court. Says petitions was mere blockbuster with trillions. Is this a game? Says petition was mere blockbuster with trillion suspense, hide and seek. You also find this headline, Vanguard newspaper, era of exporting raw materials over, says Alake. What does that mean? That's the Minister of Solid Mineral Development. Era of exporting raw materials over, says Alake. No discrepancies in Obi's certificates. Labour Party saying that. Also, earlier in one of the dailies we took, it says they are Papa faction of the Labour Party. Says that discrepancies in the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. But another Labour Party is also coming out to say no discrepancy whatsoever. So, which is which? We get to perhaps in the days ahead find proper placement for all of these issues. Reps invite Minister Diaspora Commission alleged maltreatment of Nigerians in Ethiopia. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper. Perhaps I'll also use this opportunity to reiterate the fact that some Nigerians, some residents or indigents of Ondo State who have also had to journey outside the country to Burkina Faso. We understand that some of them also are facing um, some form of maltreatment. They were deceived to make that trip, and now they are stuck. Perhaps there should also be a look in. We have representatives, we have senators, National Assembly that can also, you know, while they're talking about the alleged maltreatment of Nigerians in Ethiopia, chip it in. We have Nigerians in Burkina Faso in also not so good conditions, and we really hope that perhaps get back to the normal life they used to know. Other headlines in the Vanguard newspaper: infrastructure revamp key to our economic policies. That's coming from the President Shetima. You also see this one: Israel Hamas war. Sultan's GNI sues for peace as UN warns of dire conditions in Gaza. You find those headlines right here or right there in the Vanguard newspaper for today. The Vanguard, we'll leave it at that. Let's check the Guardian newspaper for this morning. Quite interesting twist to the pictures and the headlines we've seen in the previous dailies this morning. The Guardian newspaper has a picture of Nigerian athletes in the front page of the Guardian this morning. Begin to wonder what exactly is the Guardian trying to, push with this particular image in the front page. You find football stars, wrestlers, basketballers. You find wrestlers. You also find that table tennis champ, Aruna Kadri. You find table tennis champs in the front page of the Guardian newspaper. You also see Ese Brume in the front page. Toby Amuson also in the front page. Weightlifters right there in the front page of the Guardian. But what has accompanied those images is this: sport 100 revenue yearly, poor funding, low patronage. That's huge. 500 billion. Imagine Nigeria economy, plus 500 billion. And to think about some of the things that particular money can be used to in the country, to fix things in the country in terms of we having it as a revenue. So I hope government would take critical look to the sports sector to find ways to really harness the potential in that particular sector, because Nigeria is the home of talents. You find abundant talent right here in Nigeria across different spheres of life, whether it's academics, whether it's sports, name it, you'll find them right here. So it's about harnessing the potential in all of these sectors for national development. Let's check all the headlines in the Guardian newspaper. 23.8 million family businesses contribute $200 billion to Nigeria's economy yearly. Controversy trails appointment of lawyer Olukoyede as EFCC chair. You want to know more, perhaps, about the controversies trailing his appointment? You check the Guardian newspaper. FG talks tough on sexual harassment in varsities. Beyond talking tough, many would say we also need stiffer actions and penalties, because this, from revelations we've seen in time past, it's happening, it's a trend, and it's quite an ugly one when sexual harassment taking different dimensions on various campuses across the country. CBN lifts restrictions on 43 items, unveils measures to address distortion. You find that also in the Guardian newspaper for this morning. And that's about it from the Guardian newspaper. For today, you want to check more on those stories, you get a copy. Let's check the Nigerian Tribune. The Nigerian Tribune is also out, is also taking its headline from development of the Central Bank of Nigeria. CBN lifts forex ban on 43 items to intervene in FX market. Restates commitment to boost liquidity in market. Action will reduce premium between official parallel market. That's according to Dawn. Avoid market suppression tendencies. CPPE. Not so good a picture in terms of the message it passed across. In the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, it says Ibadan, Ijebu-Ode Road. It's in a bad shape. Motorists just trying to pull their their way through that particular road. But that's also the sad tale of many roads across the country. Ibadan, Ijebu-Ode Road. You see that picture right there, and you begin to imagine the agony the commuters on that road will go through. Senator Ubadom's YPP defects to APC. Jilo, just the new elevation of lawyers to the rank of SAN, of the Senior Advocate of Nigeria, SAN. Reps probe alleged victimization, forced imprisonment of Nigerians in Ethiopia. Navy destroys 3 million litre capacity illegal refinery camps in 260 emergency road repairs. Work to gulp 217 billion naira. That's according to the minister, Humai. FEMA board gets nod for reconstitution. You also see that in the Nigerian Tribune, just above the nameplate of the Nigerian Tribune. How flood affected cassava, maize, beans in 18 states. That's according to report. And you also know the impact, or imagine the impact of the effect of flood on these food items, particularly the farms. And perhaps it's also part of the reasons we have some form of food insecurity. Quite a lot of issues, pharmacy, getting access to farm implements. Now flood is also adding its own burden to their, to the scenario they have to cope with. 18 states. You check that story from the Nigerian Tribune this morning. Let's, before on this segment, let's check the Punch newspaper. The Punch newspaper for today. The bold one is on the CBN directive or lifting or ban on some items. You also see diesel-laden tanker crashes on Lagos highway, traps bus. Picture there. Use the opportunity to gulp or scoop the products from these tanks or from these tankers, and you begin to wonder if they're not quite observant of previous situations that have gone south in terms of the hazard that could arise from that particular scenario. Explosion could come up, but yet many still try to see it as an opportunity to get some of these products. So petrol, diesel, is a crash or an accident of this nature. People just think about the benefit to them. Let's check the headlines in the Punch newspaper. PSE promotes 12 commissioners, 5,706 police personnel. 2 die, others injured in Osun collapsed building. You also see that in the Punch newspaper. Complete AAK gas pipeline 2024. FG, others contractors. You find those headlines in the also put in more information for you this morning about the action of the Central Bank of Nigeria. It says Forex, after 8 years, CBN lifts ban on rice, palm oil, 41 other items, promises to boost liquidity to ensure stability of prices. Agbara Round Table, VP Shetima guarantees industries steady power supply within 4 months. Agbara Roundtable, VP Shetima guarantees industries steady power supply within 4 months. POS agents arrested for allegedly stealing 942 million naira from employer. You find that story also in the Nigerian News Direct. You also see more stories. You find the picture of the Vice President, the Governor of Ogun State, the Deputy Governor of Lagos, and the Minister of Power right there, posing for a picture in the front page of the Nigerian News Direct this morning. From the Daily Sun also has similar stories we've taken from other dailies about the ongoing legal fireworks. Tinubu warns Supreme Court to dismiss Atiku's petition, urges Apex Court to reject ex-VP's claim. FG plans sexual offences unit in schools, promises severe sanctions for randy lecturers. Yeah, perhaps it's time to say a word is enough for the wise. That's it, they're wise. FG plans sexual offences unit in schools, promises severe sanctions for randy lecturers. Reps call for reintroduction of price control board. Panel screens NDDC board nominees. You find that story right there in the Daily Sun for today. Before we take a look at the development in the sporting world, let's check some developments right here in Ondo State. Says Ondo Assembly awaits court injunction to proceed on Ayeda Tiwa's impeachment process. Commissioner of Police Ashabi craves resident support to keep Ondo State safe. You also see NASDA Director General Alilu Shaba commends Osrc for professional standards, and that's on the back of the DJ's visit to the headquarters of the Ondo State Radio Division Corporation yesterday. It was accompanied by top members of his management team, including one of our own, that's a former staff of this media group, that's Dr. Felix Ali. And, it's about meeting minds to see how well scientific ideas can be brought to life in terms of simplifying issues for the common man. You also find this one, 2023 Ule Funta Festival. NASDA DG Ahmed stresses peaceful coexistence for speedy development. But let's check sports quickly now. Let's take a look at developments in the sporting world for this morning. Sporting Sun is our guide. Sporting Sun is our guide for today in the sporting world. You see this one, AFCON 2023 draw. Nigeria draws Cote d'Ivoire, Equatorial Guinea, Guinea-Bissau in Group A. That's the development in the Sporting Sun. We'll leave it at that for you this morning. You can check more development in the sporting world when you grab a copy of the Sporting Sun. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at a critical issue. Please stay.